Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. I've got company today. John from the Appalachian Channel is here with me, and he does a lot of videos about places around our area. Old country stores, different businesses, a lot of the antique shops he goes in, and just a lot of other stuff. If y'all are looking for something to do over the weekend, maybe check out his channel because you could probably find something to do on his channel.
Well, we do have a lot of Appalachian history and culture and mom and pop type stores, and just love documenting kind of a travel destination channel. People kind of watch some of the places we film that's open to the public, and they like to go visit them a lot of times. There's a lot of places here in your home county of Claiborne County. We've been here quite a bit. We've done a whole series called Greasy Holler Memories.
Oh.
Kind of on the other side of the lake here
Yeah.
from you, but Ralph, he's 97 years old now, so he used to run an old general store, and I've done 35 videos with him. So, and Frosty Freeze up in Tazewell,
Yeah.
and the Walmart just not long ago. We walked
I
that
saw the Walmart one.
Yeah. So we met you the first time over at Picker's Paradise.
Yep. I was in there looking for some casserole dishes. Everybody asks where my stuff comes from. Most of it is from flea markets and yard sales and antique shops, and my kids will find it. And then I have folks send me stuff like this dish was a gift from a viewer. So Miss Vanessa sent me that.
Yep, and you bought, you was on that video. We didn't know who you were at the time. It's like, we asked you, we were filming, if it's okay, we film you for the video, and you said, well, I got a YouTube channel too. Then, then after you left, we realized you really had a YouTube channel. As we get people to tell us that, so that about everybody has a YouTube channel, but sometimes they don't have but a handful of subscribers. And then when I looked at it and told Jodi, I said she's got over 800,000 subscribers. And
well, it didn't happen overnight. So folks that want to do it and think maybe it's not happening, give it time. I think it's a good living. It's an interesting living. It's not something that I ever thought I'd be doing. I don't know about you, but when I was in school on career day, they didn't say, "Hey, you can be on YouTube."
No, it wasn't even internet then. So they had some computers and maybe typewriters. I don't even think they had computers when I was in school. So some years later they came out. But,
I remember taking a computer class right out of high school at a community college, and it was called Computers Today. And they had a mainframe computer and then the monitors and stuff. And the mainframe computer was in a room about 3 times the size of this house, and it just ran and it wouldn't do a tenth of what a phone would do now, probably not even that much. I mean, it was nothing. You could write a program that prints your name on the screen.
Well, for those of you that's watching from my channel, the Appalachian Channel, I came here to interview Becky and see how she got started with this YouTube thing, and because it's not an easy thing, and you're the first other YouTuber that I've interviewed that actually does this full time for a living. So this is exciting for me, and I saw one of your videos. Oh, here it is. You've got your
100,000
subscriber plaque, and we're 27,000 away. We're at 72,000, so we're waiting to get this right here. And
well, it might happen soon. With the strike in Hollywood, folks will be looking for new material to watch. So that's usually a good thing for those of us who make YouTube videos, because we're not on strike, folks. If you're looking for something new to watch, go to YouTube.
I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Let's back up and tell us how this came about. Who encouraged you to put your first video on YouTube?
My husband.
Your
And
husband.
it was all totally his idea. He was really into the short films. He wanted to do short films and go to the short film festivals, and he had some health problems. So everybody in the family kind of got behind him. It was like a therapy thing when we would make these silly little short films. And for years, like 5 years, it was a daily thing. You need to be doing cooking videos on YouTube. And you need to be doing cooking videos on YouTube. Kept telling me that. And he would pull up different videos and show them to me, and I'd watch them. And we were snowed in on Valentine's Day in 2014. And he started again, and I was like, fine, I'll make snow cream. And I was being a little smart aleck. I was going to do it. Nobody's going to watch it. And I can get back to my life.
Just to satisfy him.
Just to satisfy him. So he wasn't feeling great that day, so he was setting up the channel while I was getting ready to video, and I set it up and I videoed it all serious, you know, don't get any yellow snow, and also, you know, don't go up under trees and stuff. You want to nice, because you don't want to get stuff dripped out of trees in your snow cream. Got to have nice clean snow. And brought it in and finished it up, and he's like, what are we going to call this channel? And I said, well, the Hillbilly Kitchen. And that too was just a joke, you know, it was, but it fits. I mean, so he's like, oh, I like that. So he sets it up, puts that video up, and it got like 200 views. And it was a brand new channel, brand new video, and 200 views in the first day. You know, that's something for a brand new channel. So then I was up a creek. It sure didn't stop. So I did 2 or 3 more videos, and we let it sit for a little while, and maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and came back and looked, and 1,000 people had watched me make a pot roast.
Yeah.
And I called all the kids, you ain't gonna believe this, 1,000 people watched me make a pot roast. Well, then I was really, you know, so.
Got encouraged from that.
We kept making them for a while, and one of our daughters, our oldest daughter, opened up a little store down the valley. It was called Yesteryear Country Market. It was kind of like the Amish stores. So we went down and helped them work, and I worked in the deli for like 3 years, making sandwiches and tater salad. And people started coming in. And we had about 30,000 subscribers when we went down there and started helping them. And they were like, please make more videos. You know, you have no idea how much it means to me to turn on YouTube and listen to your videos. And when I feel lonely, I just listen to you talk. And I'm like, so I thought about that a while, and, you know, more and more people came in. And then the year before we started doing it full time, in November, we had a big jump from November and into December. We jumped from 30,000 to like 65,000.
What year would this be? About 2019?
That would have been 2019 or 2018. Probably 2019.
Yeah.
So, you know, it went on along and toward the spring, and he wasn't doing good, and it was just, you know, that was a hard job. I don't know if you've ever worked retail in that kind of a store. I mean, you just run from the time you get there till the time you leave. I didn't sit down for
Cooking
8 straight hours. Yeah, something all the time. And in the middle of the day one day, I said, let's go home. I said, you know, let's just go do videos. And he was like, are you sure? Because at the time, we were making $400 a month. And I said, yep, God's going to bless it. People want to see it. Let's go home. So we came home, and we kind of dedicated it to the Lord. And there's at least a verse in every video, if not more than just a verse. And we share verses about hope and love and try to keep people encouraged. And a lot of people have asked me, why don't you, if you look at the Bible, there's way more verses about judgment or God's wrath, or, you know, there's so much bad in the world. Somebody has to be a light, and it can't all be about the bad. And Jesus said he comes to be a light. He came to save the world, not to condemn it, but to save it. So if as Christians we're going to be a light and we're going to share that, we have to be a light, especially in the last 3 or 4 years. It has just, well, you live here, you know what things are like, and people need some hope. So that's what we do.
Well, that's really encouraging coming from you, going through losing your husband too a few years ago, and then still being able to encourage other people on top of going through that.
That was
takes a lot.
September of 2021, and it definitely changed life.
Yes, I'm sure it did. Things.
I mean, he had been sick for a long time, and, you know, you kind of expect it, but you don't expect it at the same time. You know, it was a...
So at that point, did you kind of feel like giving up on the channel, or what was your
I
thoughts?
was, for a couple of days, I sat here, and I don't even know if it was a couple of days, I was trying to decide what I was going to do. And he said, you know, if you just put up 1 video a month, he said, you can edit 1 video a month. Just put up 1 video a month, and you'll be all right. You know, it'll keep making money. It ain't, you know, obviously, you know, it's like you said, stoking a fire. You have to keep putting videos up. It goes up and drops down, and goes up and drops down. But he said, if you just keep putting up a video a month, it'll continue to get views, and you can just go live your life. And he had said that, and I thought, well, I can edit, I can figure out how to do that. But then I was thinking, what am I going to do? Because that means I work at home alone. And I am alone, and that's not going to work. And my daughter Alex came in. We were still planning the funeral, and she was working as a lineman at a local internet company, which is not an easy job. And they had her doing a supervisor job, paying her for a lineman's job. And they were calling her while we were planning his service, and she was in tears because they wouldn't leave her alone. And I said, quit and come to work for me. And she's like, I can't take your money. And I said, I need an editor. I don't want to work alone every day and live alone every day.
Right.
You know, and I need an editor.
So it's been quite an experience. I know we talked to you a little bit on the phone about when you're out in public and people recognize you. And I know from my video, when people was watching my video, they're like, there's Becky from the Hillbilly Kitchen. That's crazy. They was like tripped out that there you just show up, pop up in the middle of the video.
Well, it is different. I'm kind of getting used to it, and I expect it now. I'll see people point at me, and they'll go, "You're," and yeah, I am. You know what I mean? Or I'll just have people yell. You know, they'll see me and scream, and I'm like, yeah.
So let me ask you a question. You know, as YouTube content creators, you're constantly trying to find a new recipe, I'm sure. So how do you come up with so many different recipes?
Well, I've got about, I'd say probably 200, maybe 300 cookbooks. I don't know, they're all over the house. Okay. I've got cookbooks everywhere, and when I go someplace, whether it's if I'm traveling or if I go in an antique mall or something and I see an old cookbook or Goodwill, I've got a lot of cookbooks there. I'll buy old cookbooks. And then I've got recipes from a couple of my aunts have given me recipes that I've kept, and I've got some of my mama's recipes and a lot of old cookbooks.
Now, did you start out at a young age cooking? Did you grow up cooking?
I was the first time I remember cooking, and I've never told this story, so this is an exclusive for you. The first thing I actually remember cooking was baked beans on the stove. You know, they just use pork and beans on the stove and add brown sugar and mustard and whatever to them, little onion. Well, I certainly didn't do onion. I was 3 years old. I had me a little chair pushed up, and I'd say that can of beans probably had half a pound of brown sugar in them at least. I put some, but it was baked beans on the stovetop was the first thing I remember cooking, and I ate them, but I don't know if anybody else really enjoyed them. I can't remember. They were pretty sweet.
So you added the sugar to it.
Yeah, I added plenty of brown sugar to them, but that was the first thing I remember cooking. But I remember pretty little making pancakes and
something you enjoyed at a young age and kept doing it through your teenage years.
Real young.
Yeah.
And I didn't think a whole lot about it, you know, cook for my kids when they were growing up and stuff. But one of the girls I went to high school with commented on one of my videos after it started taking off. And she said, you know, this I could have imagined for you because you were always making candy and stuff and bringing it to school. And every time I came to your house, you were cooking. And I'm like, you know, I didn't think about it, but I guess I was.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why I was thinking, trying to ask, you know, if this is something that you've enjoyed for, sounds like since you're 3 years old.
Yeah, I used to love cooking with my granny, and she passed away when I was 12. So those were some of my best childhood memories. Yeah,
I'd say so. With your grandmother cooking with her, and I'm sure she had some good recipes too.
Oh yeah, she did. My Aunt Dot, she was a great cook. She was like, she could make a pie out of anything, and meringue, you know, this high, and all the cream pies and stuff, and I used to cook a lot with her too. Wish I'd have paid more attention to her.
So now, are you a native to Claiborne County here? Have you always lived here? Or did you move here?
Actually, I'm from a place called Gumlock, Georgia, which is in Towns County. It's right, you can about throw a rock and hit Tennessee and North Carolina, so it's kind of the same deal, only at the bottom of the state instead of at the top.
Now, what brought you to Claiborne County?
Oh gosh, that's a long story.
A long time, been a while back. Probably.
Well, when I was a kid, we moved down to Middle Georgia, and then I met Bret working. I had a cousin who worked at a Hardee's in a suburb of Atlanta, and I was working there over my Christmas break, and met my husband working at Hardee's in Atlanta, Riverdale. It's down south of Atlanta there, and that was a real long courtship, at least a week and a half.
A week and a half.
Yeah, at least. But it was quick, and you know, I was 17 and it lasted forever.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Ended up moving here to Claiborne County.
Yeah.
What year did you come here?
We came to Claiborne County in, oh my goodness, 80, or no, it wasn't 80. It would have been 93.
93, so you've been here a while.
Long time.
So it looks like you've got something made up here today. What'd you make up today?
I made us a fresh apple cake with a brown sugar glaze on it.
Oh my
and
goodness.
I'm going to do that video here. That'll probably be the next one. I put up a Philly cheesesteak sloppy joe today. I just put it up while you were driving out here.
Oh, yeah?
So we'll see how that does. I made some coffee. I thought we'd have some coffee and try this cake.
Sounds good.
And I just picked these apples this morning.
Picked these apples?
Yeah.
You grew them?
I got a couple apple trees down the hill there.
I don't think I've ever ate apples that's been cooked and picked that same day. From Becky from the Hillbilly Kitchen, guys. This is a fat man's delight, I'll tell you. We wasn't expecting you to fix us anything to eat. We were just coming to talk to you to see how you got started in this.
Well, it was, we, like I said, we were doing the silly short films, and he's took most of those down, and I kind of hate that, but he said, well, they might embarrass you at some point, so I'm going to get them down. And I'm like, honey, it takes a lot more than that to embarrass me.
Now, you have another YouTube channel that you're talking about. It's called
Bret
and Becky.
And I haven't put anything up on that since he passed, and we hadn't been putting stuff up on it for a little while before he did. And I really want to get back to that. I was thinking maybe I told you were talking about traveling, and I said, well, I really want to do a little traveling. I'd like to meet some folks, that.
Yeah, we talked about maybe doing a meet and greets too. Maybe we can do, if y'all are watching and would like to come to a meet and greet, maybe in Cumberland Gap or somewhere we can get it set up. Let us know if you would come to Claiborne County, which is Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee, right there together. Well, we're going to get ready to eat some cake, and I really want to say thank you. This has been a great honor and privilege to get to come meet Becky and be here in her kitchen and to make a video with her. It's been awesome.
I've had a fun time talking to John, and I got to meet his wife, Jodi, who's hiding back there with Alex.
She's running camera today.
It is nice to have other folks around because this is a kind of a solo operation. Alex comes after I'm done usually recording and edits, so I set everything up by myself. People ask that a lot too.
Yeah.
All the lights, all the sound, all the cameras, that's all my job.
Right, yeah. We kind of do a little bit of everything. You got to do it all.
Yep. I want to thank y'all so much for joining us, Hillbilly Kitchen. Check out John's channel, the Appalachian Channel. And I want to leave you with just a short verse. John 8:36. If the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. If you don't know true freedom, get to know my Jesus. Until next time, remember to put God first.